moving to the next objective, or scope of HRM. Now we come to difference between HRM and personnel. PM means personnel management. HRM and personnel management, we can say they both are interconnected. They both are same terms, but some different, area of working, some different scope. Objective, we can say that sometimes is also different. So to make the things clear, to bring clarity between HR and PM, I am having some of the important points, not many of the points, but few points which will make the distinction clear or the difference clear between human resource management and personnel management. HRM is a proactive in nature while PM is reactive. Proactive in nature means that HRM has to perform his function, in advance. He has to be prepared in advance before the things are implemented or before the things have been, ready to be applied. But PM is reactive. It means that when things happen or when the things are coming into the final mode and they are into working mode, then personnel management comes, or then personnel management show its working. But HRM should be proactive. He should be pre-prepared for managing the human resource, employees force or workforce or task force. HRM is a resource-centered activity, whereas PM is an employee-centered activity. HRM is a resource-centered activity. Why we have said this? Because HRM is dealing with the total resources. Total resources means to say that we are covering all the aspects which are related with production or which are related with the functioning of the organization, not only with the employees. We are not here concerned only with the employees. We are concerned with overall functioning of the organization. So we have to cover other aspects also which are not covered by PM. While PM is totally employee centered, he will be focusing or he will be, giving weightage or attention to the employees only, keeping other things aside. But HRM has to consider machine also, HRM has to consider material also, HRM has to consider the system also, because the system is not proper, it is not working in a disciplined manner, then it can also lead to various problems in the organization. While PM has to consider only the employees. He has to put his total stress or total attention towards the employees only, that whether the employees are performing well or not. But it's not like that with HRM. HRM has to consider other aspects also. If any of the aspects is missing, if any of the aspect is not covered very well, then it can lead to the problem to HRM department. So to avoid such problems, to avoid such indiscipline or unsystematic things in an organization, HRM work in an alert mode. Next we come to HRM emphasizes on flexible, open-ended contracts, but PM emphasizes the strict observance of defined rules, procedures and contracts. Now here, why we have used the word flexible and open? Because what we have to do is, we have to go for the things which are related with the we can say some external sources, which are related with some external parts, or which are related with some external things which are not the specific content of within an organization. They can be at other points also. So we have to maintain those things. We have to maintain every aspect in a very clear manner, because if you are not having such clarity between HRM and PM, then the things can be different for you all. So HRM is basically related to, we can say that, external factors also. Many external factors are to be dealt. That's why HRM has to be flexible, while PM can be rigid. PM can be rigid. Why? Because PM has to deal only with the policies, procedures and plans which are within the organization, which cannot be, which cannot be made or which cannot be, implemented outside the organization. So to avoid all this thing, what we are doing, we are making this thing clear between HRM and PM. HRM views better performance as a cause of job satisfaction, whereas PM considered job satisfaction as a source of better performance. Now, HRM says better performance is a cause of job satisfaction. Yes, if your employees are performing very well, they are giving you maximum output, they are working for you with their full energy, with their full zeal, with their full enthusiasm, it means that they are totally and fully satisfied, because none of the person who is dissatisfied in the organization will be giving you his total total productivity. He will be, if dissatisfied, then he will be not giving you the maximum output, while PM says that job satisfaction as a source of better performance, that if you are satisfied from your job, then only you will be performing better. If you are not satisfied with your job, then you will be not performing better and you will be not giving maximum to the organization. So to avoid all this, what we have to do is we have to go for job satisfaction, so that your performance will be automatically good and you'll be giving your maximum output to the organization. Next point says HRM seeks to develop the competencies of the employees on a sustained basis, while PM is a regular status quo based administrative function. When we talk about HRM, then we are talking about a function which is also thinking about sustainability of the employees. Sustainability of the employees means as long as an employee can serve for the organization. But PM, when we talk about PM is not thinking like that. PM is having, it is basically a regular function. It is not directly related with the, the life of the employee with the organization. Whether the employee is working for 1 year, whether the employee is working for 2 years, it is not concerned regarding all that. While HRM have a concern about the sustainability of the employees, because if you want your employee to sustain for a long time, then you have to consider other aspects also. Only, salary, or if I say only monetary aspect or monetary incentive will not work. We have to think about non-financial incentives also. We have to make the things clear that why the problem is arising, why the employees are not, retaining in the organization for a long time period, why they are leaving so early, why they are going or, exiting the organization at such a fast pace. So HRM is considered about all these things, while PM is not considered about all these things. What it does, it is only considered with the functioning of the present or current functioning of the organization and the current life or current working of the employee. So these are the main points of difference between HRM and PM, which we have to consider and which make us clear, or which give us a crystal clear picture of difference between the two, so that HRM and PM should not be, interconnected. They should not be taken as same. We should consider the functioning of both of them, and the difference between the two should be very clear. Moving to the next point, we come to functions of human resource management. When we talk about human resource management, then we are talking about all those functions which are related with the employees, with the workforce, with the task force, or we can say the men aspect of an organization, because this is one of the important. When I talk about functions of HRM, then they are categorized into two parts. The first part is basically dealing with all those managerial functions which are required to manage HRM, and second part is dealing with operative functions which are important for the operations of HRM. Because once you are managing your task force, once you are able to properly command your workforce, it doesn't mean that the other aspect that is known to be operative is to be left untouched. No, you have to go for that aspect also, that why your human resource employees or workforce is not performing very well. Sometimes many questions arises, sometimes many kind of disputes or problems also arises, that why the problem is existing, why we are not able to resolve such problem, where the root cause lies. So we have to think about that also. When I talk about managerial functions, then we are talking about planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling, or we can say these are the main basic functions of a manager. Either I talk about HR manager or I talk about a common general manager, then both of them have to perform these functions at their different fields, in their different fields. Because if I am talking about marketing, all these functions has to be performed, but they will be related to marketing jobs. If I talk about finance, then all these functions has to be performed, but they will be relating with financial aspect. And when I am talking about HR, all those functions should be performed or are required to be performed, but they will be related with HR aspect. So the first one says planning. When I talk about managerial function, planning in HR, then I am talking about the planning of workforce. Because every organization, until unless having a sound, foolproof plan, cannot survive or cannot go for success. If your plans are totally foolproof, then only when they will be implemented, they will be giving you good results. But if your planning fails, everything fails. So the first point, planning means that HR should be such well versed that it must have a foolproof sound plan about its employees. That what employees, when employees are needed, with what skills, eligibility, qualifications, because we does not require same type of employee for the whole organization. The nature of employees changes as per the nature of job. The job you required, in the same manner, the nature of employee should also be changed. And when the nature of employee changed, his qualification, his eligibility criteria, everything changed. And this all is covered into planning. When you are having a good sound planning, then only you will be giving a good sound plan to your organizations, your reporting authorities, your top level authorities, that what kind of employees are required. If you are not having such quality to make such foolproof plan, then your planning will be totally a fiasco or a flop show. Second, organizing. Now we have planned our employees, we have planned our workforce. Now the time is to organize them. Organize them means placing them into a systematic order. Suppose we have selected 10 employees and the 10 employees will be joining us from tomorrow. Then you must know that which employee should be placed where. It should not be wastage of time in deciding that Mr. A should go there, Mr. B should go there. No, you should decide all these things in advance, that where to place which person as per his specialization, as per his caliber, or as per his skills and qualities. So this is what is known as organizing. Everything should be organized in a systematic manner so that it cannot lead to any kind of further hurdles or any kind of further problems with the organization. Next we come to staffing. Staffing means that putting all the employees in such a manner that they should be satisfied. We must know about the problem. We must provide them the facilities required. We must provide them the layout, that what they have to do, how they have to do. Because until unless you are having a blueprint, a framework or layout with you, then it will be very difficult to handle the staff. And staffing will also include a good relations among them. Because if you are not having quarterly relations with your staff, then it can be a great source of complaints, or it can be a great source of dissatisfaction among both of them. So staffing means that you must have cordial relations among employees, because if we are not having good human relations, then it is but automatically understood that people will not be doing the work with positivity. They will be having a negative mindset, because when relations are not concerned, or when relations are not having any value here in the organization, then why should we work? So staffing means that HRM should work in such a manner that all the employees are having good, healthy relations among themselves, whether from top level management, from middle level management, or lower level management. All these relations contribute a lot to the organization. They contribute a lot in the productivity, they contribute a lot in the profit making, they contribute a lot in the success of the organization. Because when an employee is full of positivity, then what output he or she will be giving to you, it's really, we cannot expect from any of the employee. But an employee, if dissatisfied or not having good relations in the organization, will not be able to give us so much. He will be not working with so much efforts and dedication for the organization. Next we come to directing. Directing simply means giving instructions or command to the employees. Now, giving instructions and command to the employees, why important? Because when an employee is not able to know that what he or she has to do, what job he or she has to perform, and who is his direct reporter or his direct superior, for whom he has to work and from whom he has to take the instructions, then it becomes very difficult for an employee to perform. So to avoid this thing, to avoid any kind of confusion among the employees, to avoid any kind of ambiguity regarding the instructions, what we do, we make the picture very clear that what you have to do, who will you have to report, and who will be giving instructions or command to you, which you have to follow. Because if many people give command or instructions to any employee, any particular employee, then it is not at all fruitful. The employee is not able to know that whether he has to listen to whom. Mr. A is also giving the instruction, Mr. B is also giving the instruction, Mr. C is also giving the instruction, then to whom he should listen, or to whom he should report. So such kind of problems can come, and such kind of problem can only be removed or eliminated if the employees knows that what they have to do and whom they have to report. Then we come to controlling. Controlling means basically control. Control doesn't mean that you must have a very strict control. You should talk very rudely to your employees. You should, give them instructions in a very rough manner. No. Controlling means that you must have an aspect, or we can say you must have such a coordination among with your employees that they must listen what you want to say. They must move in the same direction which are related with the accomplishment of objectives of the organization. Why we require control? We require control for this only, so that all the efforts should move in a single direction or same direction. Because if employees will be working according to what they feel like, then they will be not able to achieve or help us in accomplishing the organizational goals. So to avoid all this, what we have to do, we have to make quarterly relationship with the employees, so that we can also be able to take work from them in a cordial manner. The manner should not be such that we are giving the instructions but they are not listening to them. No, it should not be like that. It should be like that when your superior is giving instructions to you, you should follow those instructions in a very calm and quiet manner. Next, we come to operative functions. Now, when we talk about managerial and operative functions, first of all, as I have explained all the managerial functions, a very little basic difference between the two. Managerial functions are basically related with the management of human resource. How your human resource is working and how you want that your human resource should work. While operative functions means those functions which are separate from managerial functions. They are the functions which have an external influence also. They are also affected from external force or external factors or external pressure. That's why we have categorized the functions of HRM into two parts: managerial functions and operative functions. Now, managerial functions we have discussed. Let's come to operative functions. The first function says procurement. Procurement means taking human force from external environment. When we need or we fall short of employees, then what we do is we go for recruitment and selection. So this is the first basic function, first operative function, that is procurement, hiring employees from outside, hiring employees from external environment. That's why I have mentioned the thing very clear that whenever you are talking about operating functions, when you are then you can be connected with the external environment also. You have to give weightage to external factors also, because if you are not giving weightage to external factors, then hiring the employee becomes a very critical and tough task. So to avoid that criticality and tough task, what we have to do is we have to make the things in such a manner so that we can hire the best person from the society or the best person from the outside world. Development means training and development. As we have discussed earlier also, updation and upgradation of employees is very important. Until unless your employees are fully updated, they are well versed with the new technology, they are familiar with what is going on in outside the world, till that organization cannot reach the height of success. Organization will not be able to gain profits. Organization will not be able to make his goodwill. Organization will not be able to come up with a big name. So to make this thing possible for an organization, employees should be properly trained and developed. Then compensation includes salary and remuneration or any kind of other financial incentives which you are providing to your employees, because financial incentives, or we can say incentives, they play a very important role in the life of an employee. Everyone works for financial incentives also only. Everyone wants that he should be paid so much that he can justify his work or he can justify his salary. Because if you are underpaying an employee, then it will be a great cause of dissatisfaction. It can bring grievance within the employee. So to avoid all such circumstances, all such conditions, what we do, we go for a fair remuneration and compensation policy. Next we come to maintenance and motivation. Maintenance and motivation means that employees should be maintained. Now, how employees can be maintained? If you are providing a good working environment. If you are not providing a good working environment to your employees, then it will be very difficult for you and your employee to be maintained. We cannot have, a good managed force with us. Why? Because he is totally dissatisfied with the working environment. So, to have a maintained, a disciplined, a good employee force, what we should do? We should have a good working environment, and that working environment should be suitable for everyone, whether I talk about lower level or I talk about top level. So maintenance motivation means, and this maintenance will lead to motivation into your employees. Your employees will be fully motivated. They will be working with full dedication for the organization. So if we want a motivated workforce, then we have to maintain them. Next we come to integration. Integration, relations within organization. or we can say cordial relationship, or we can say healthy relations, or we can say good relations, because relationship makes a base for all. If you are having good relationship in your organization, then your base, your foundation will be very strong. So a cordial relation among employers and employees, or we can say among all the levels of employees, make a great strong base for an organization. And such organization never falls, where we are having good healthy relations, where employees are having, good communication among themselves, when employees both are so much integrated and connected with each other that no problem remains unheard or untouched. All the problems are heard and solution is also provided at the same time. So this is what is integration. Next, we come to industrial relations. Industrial relations means relations with other industries also. When you are running an industry, it doesn't mean that you will be not facing any connection with other industries also. You have to. Because many times what we does, we keep, bring resources, we outsource things from other industries also. But if you are not having good industrial relations, then sometime you can face the problem of raw material. Your production can be stopped. Your production can be affected. So to avoid all these circumstances, to avoid all these conditions, every industry, every company should maintain good, healthy industrial relations also. Means relations within the organization and relations outside the organization should be such that we does not face any kind of problem in getting raw material. We does not face any kind of problem in getting support. We does not face any kind of problem in getting any kind of help and cooperation from other industries also. So this is what is meant by industrial relations. So these were the following points which we covered under managerial function and operative functions. Both the functions are very important. If I say no, only managerial functions will work, no, it's not possible. If I say only operative functions will work, no, it is not possible. Both the functions will be going parallelly and simultaneously with each other, and you have to carry both of them, because if any of the aspect is left untouched, or if any of the aspect is left unsatisfied, then it can lead problem to the organization. Because employees or human resource is the main basic foundation of any organization. None of the organization can go individually or work individually. You require employee, you require workforce, so that your organization can touch the heights of success and you will be able to earn more and more profit. Thank you. This was all for today.